Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Matt Plout. I'm a student at Duke University in North Carolina studying conservation biology. Thank you for this opportunity to come and speak on this proposed amendment to the Endangered Species Act. The Endangered Species Act has always served a great purpose, to protect and manage endangered and threatened species around the country. There can be no denying this. However, looking at Section 3 of the bill, it seems that the endangered species has not been as effective as originally hoped. There is a lack of complete information on certain aspects. This can be a huge issue when talking about regulation and management of endangered species, as lack of information, for example, not knowing the exact number of individuals still alive of a particular species can be catastrophic to the survival of that species in the long run. So, gaining a more complete information set on the endangered species around the country is a good first step to take when amending this act. With that in mind, passing control onto the governors to regulate interstate species management it could have some good benefits, but ultimately there are too many flaws in the plan. Some of the benefits, first, each state, each governor, and the people of each state might be more inclined to protect and manage species if it's only found within that one state. For example, the red wolf is only found in North Carolina, so the people of North Carolina might be more inclined to help manage and protect the red wolf because it's unique to their one state. Second, passing control onto the state level, it makes sure that the area protected by is far less for each individual state than, say, the whole country. Additionally, the federal government can use this as almost leverage over the states, perhaps impose fines on the states if they're not properly managing and protecting endangered species. It might seem a bit immoral, but yet again, so is not protecting endangered species. With that being said, I do not believe that this amendment should be passed. There are too many potential flaws in this plan. First, one of the main flaws is that each individual state might have their own agenda when it comes to protecting and managing endangered species. For example, if a certain species poses an issue to the livelihoods of people within a certain state, the governor might ease up on the regulation or choose not to regulate it at all for the sake of trying to make the people in that state happier. Additionally, the language of the bill suggests that governors can simply not choose to regulate endangered species within their certain state if they desire, which is just simply wrong. The goal of the act is to regulate and manage as many species as possible, and choosing not to is not a good thing. Additionally, it's hard. The Secretary of the Interior will still have to confer with all the governments of the individual states when talking about endangered species management and protecting individual species, and it's just hard to manage all 50 states because it's just a difficult task to do. Additionally, looking at Section 3 again, one of the main findings that you had was that the environmentalists seem to undermine infrastructure projects with the hopes of protecting endangered species, and passing control to the states almost seems like a way to make sure that these infrastructure projects get built, which is really not the point of the act. The point of the act is not to make sure infrastructure gets built, it's to make sure that endangered species are protected and able to survive longer. With the fact that I do not support this amendment, I do in fact support the second half of it, the part where it's talking about regulation and costs in the private sector in areas like that. Again, looking at Section 3, some of the findings include the act has not been substantially revised. There have been less than 1% species removal rate due to data errors. There's no comprehensive knowledge of the costs and benefits of the act, and there have been so many litigation issues. So the second half of the act really speaks to these findings, that there is no accounting of the cost on the private sector. And so I believe that this second half of the act needs to be added to the original Endangered Species Act because these are really the main issues, as you guys pointed out. Additionally, more amendments could be added such that litigation issues could be solved and the likes, and stuff similar to that. So these are my views on the on this amendment. Thank you again for this opportunity, and thank you for your time.